Welcome to my health and wellness portfolio. On an individual level, health and wellness will benefit me immensely as I grow older and become immersed in new experiences. In Unit 3, I was able to find specific ways to relieve stress as well as learn how to control it through challenges. I specifically showed this in the stress screen that I created by indicating experiences and challenges in life that can cause stress, which is why I included it in my portfolio. It's an achievement to me because I also was able to show different ways to relieve stress through this stress screen by giving my own crafted advice. When I enter college, I will be partaking in a more independent step in my life, which will only cause me more stress. Understanding what stress can do to a person, I can manage my stress wisely. I hope that with the information I learned from this unit, I can manage my stress more wisely for the present and the future. With college also comes social stress and becoming more involved in social activities. Unit 2 helped me by showing the not as talked about dangerous areas of social life, which involves stereotyping, bullying, sexting, and Photoshop. I included my Golden Rule PSA flip grid in my portfolio because I was able to show how social pressure, which essentially can cause bullying, is dangerous for one's social health and should not be tolerated. I consider this project an achievement because when I become more of an independent member of society, understanding what I learned from the project as well as the unit can help my interactions with others in that I can identify who I should and should not associate with. Unit 8, the unit of nutrition, honestly motivated me the most to improve my diet. I had to identify what was healthy and unhealthy to put in my body, and while I did so, I personally made connections to what I was learning. It made me realize that I need to change my diet in order to improve how I feel every day. Drinking more water and eating a daily recommended amount of certain food groups, such as 2.5 cups of vegetables daily, will improve how I feel and look. This lesson forced me to actually understand what I normally consume on a daily basis, and it opened my eyes up to what it was doing to my body. It motivated me to change my ways in order to live a healthier lifestyle. In the restaurant menu placemat assignment, it was an achievement in that it allowed me to gain knowledge on what is truly healthy for a person, as well as how much fat, carbs, and sugar and other things I should consume in a day, which is why I included it in my portfolio. For example, I learned that I should be eating 5 ounces of grains and 3 cups of dairy every day. From the information that I obtained from this unit, a goal I'm going to try to accomplish will be eating healthier and making eating healthy a healthy lifestyle for myself. In Unit 4, Substance Abuse and Addictions, this unit allowed me to understand not only the risks of dangerous substances, but also showed me the indirect impacts of substance abuse. I included my indirect impact of substance abuse and addiction reflection because I was able to show my knowledge by giving 5 indirect ways that substances can be harmful, which is also why it's an achievement to me, because of the knowledge I obtained and was able to present. For example, one of them was how when school students take drugs, it influences their friends to do it as well in order to fit in, which could cause an issue in drugs and drug use being found in school. With this reflection, it shows knowledge that fits into my school life specifically because it shows me more of the hidden reasons as to why drug use is dangerous, which gives me more of a reason to not use drugs and to encourage my friends to not use drugs either, despite the pressure as a teenager to use drugs and other dangerous substances. In Unit 5, Human Sexuality and the Nobody Else Understands, or Do They discussion, I presented a personal perspective of abusive relationships based off of what my uncle has experienced. Based on this discussion, as well as Alexandra Redkay's TEDx video on abusive relationships, it helped me understand the dangers of being in an abusive relationship and how to know if you're in one based on the 4 stages of an abusive relationship, one of them being isolation from others. I included this in my portfolio because this helps me in my everyday life as a teenager because if I go into a relationship, I can understand and identify whether I am in an abusive one or not. This discussion in TEDx video also helps me because I was able to identify that my friend was in an abusive relationship and I could help her get out of it because of the knowledge that I obtained from this unit, which is why I consider the discussion an achievement to me. As a teenager, one can feel pressured in an abusive relationship to do certain things or to be a certain way. By knowing the 4 stages of an abusive relationship, one can understand the situation that they're in better than they did before. It could even help them get out of the situation. In Unit 1, Intro to Health and Wellness, I didn't have previous knowledge on healthcare systems, so it really intrigued me to learn about the one that I'm in, as well as others. It also made me realize how different America's healthcare system is compared to other countries such as Singapore's. In the healthcare final product that I did with 3 other classmates, I was able to identify what I had learned from this particular section of the unit. In fact, I feel that what I learned from this unit was most interesting to me, which is why I included it in my portfolio and why it is one of my greatest achievements to me. I was able to learn information that I was interested in and was able to present it. The project regarded the healthcare systems of France, Canada, Singapore, and the United States. Overall, we learned that out of these 4 systems, Singapore has the best healthcare system due to its performance, which includes mortality rate, cost, wait times, etc. In Unit 6, Cardiovascular Health, learning the factors of heart disease within my family really opened up my eyes to the risks that I may face with heart disease. In my Web of Risks blueprint, pointing out some of the issues that my family members have or used to have made me understand the actual risk that my siblings and I face regarding heart disease. I also learned the risks that don't affect me as much, such as smoking and diabetes, since not many people in my family have done either or have had either. I included the Web of Risks in my portfolio because it shows a more personal side of this class that I was able to educate myself on, which is an achievement to me because understanding one's family history's health is extremely important to me since it shows the risks that someone may face regarding health. In Unit 7, Personal Fitness and Exercise, I was able to learn how to prevent injuries in certain sports as well as what sports correlate to certain injuries. My big aha was when I made my injury prevention tip sheet infographic on hypothermia. I actually always wanted to understand different injuries like hypothermia rather than what it just seemed to be on the outside. I learned how dangerous being in cold water or cold weather for a long amount of time is, as well as how important wearing the correct clothing for outside winter sports is. I also learned that some signs and symptoms of hypothermia include shivering, mumbling, a weak pulse, clumsiness, etc. Understanding this can help me in a situation of figuring out if I or someone else may have hypothermia or not. I included this in my portfolio because it shows my newfound knowledge on hypothermia, which I consider an achievement because I wanted to learn about different injuries like hypothermia and finally could even showcase my knowledge through an infographic. Two questions I have moving forward from health and wellness. One being, when I become elderly, how is cardiovascular health and personal fitness and exercise going to change in my life? What's going to be different in regards to how I should be exercising and staying physically healthy than what I'm doing right now? And my second question is, how frequent are my nutrition requirements going to change as I grow older through different experiences in my life, such as when I become older in age, or get pregnant, or gain weight, etc. That's all.